includes
Nesse vídeo, você vai aprender.
Hello friend, welcome back. In this video, I want to start a new session. It's about that asynchronous programming. Before, I have already stored all the data with this variable, like with this variable, with this object, and also stored this data with this array, right? But in real life, we store all the data into the database. When it will be needed, then we fetch all the data and visible this data into the front end. So when this data actually comes from our database to the front end, in particular that time we have to manage all the things. So we can manage all the things with this asynchronous programming. So here we have to understand it very much clearly. So I show you with the live example. Like right now I remove everything and I take first of all I want to print some of the value. Okay, string value with the console log. There is a console log. I have already discussed about that things with you. So there is a console log. Here I name it as a before. Okay, before, and also I take another one with the console log, and with the console log I want to display another message as a after. Okay, before and then after. So if you now click as a save all, and now if you go and now if you refresh it, now you can see it's now printing as a before and then after. So it's called as a synchronizing. Okay, so that is the synchronizing when you get any data. First of all, this data will be displayed, and then that will be displayed our next one, right? So now I want to call another function in JavaScript. There is another function as a set timeout. So I make it a set time. Okay, that is a set timeout. So we into this function that is actually pass two of this parameter. One is the function, another is the timer. Okay, so here I want to pass two of this parameter one of the function. So that is our function, and also into the function, and also there is another parameter. Okay, they have the another parameter as a timer. So I want to add set some of the timer like as a 2000. So it's actually call it with the 2000 millisecond. 2000 millisecond, that means the 2 second. Okay, so after the 2 second, whatever the things right now you will add into the function area, then that will be executed. Like here I want to do into the function area, I want to show some of the message with the console log. I want to display the message as a hi, my name is Aryan. So I simply print this type of one of the view. So as I told you, first of all, both of this that will be executed, and here I add that or set timeout one of the function, and into this function that will be passed two of this parameter. One is the function parameter, another is the timeout parameter. So I set up as a timeout as a 2 second, that means a 2000 millisecond. So after the 2 second, this console message will be print. Now let's check this out. If you now click as a save all, and now if you go click as a refresh, before and after is loading, and yes, you can see after the 2 second, then our hi, my name is Aryan is printing. Okay friend, I hope it's very much clear to you. But here one things, if you open it, like first of all it's display the before, and after that I print our another string value, right? And then that is after. But you can see when that is actually printing, it's printing for the first time as a before, and then the after, then our this message, right? So why this is happening? So friend, that is one of the asynchronous non-block code. So first of all, when that will be as a printed, and after that, that is actually created one of the schedule. Okay, it will be created one of the schedule, and also as I told you, that is one of the asynchronous non-block. So for the reasons here, it's not created any block. For the first time that will be print, and then it will be created one of the schedule, and after that, that will be just simply print it. Okay, when it will be get this data, then that will be printed. So here it will be created one of the schedule. So now I want to make these things little bit deep. Like here I take another function. Okay, I take one of the another function. I just name it as a fetch. Okay, fetch user. So I want to pass some of the user data. So that is our function. So into this function area, I want to take total things from here. I cut it, and into this function, into our fetch user function here, I simply paste it. Okay, friend. And now from to this position, okay, from to this position, I want to return some of the user data. Okay, I want to here into the return, I want to use as a name. Okay, name as one of the username, as I name it as a Aryan. Okay, Aryan, and also I take another one as a age. age I want to do and to declare another age as a 30. Okay, 30. Perfect. So I simply take both of this in here, and after that, that is our time, right? So after that, that is our time. And now I want to print it. So if you want to print it, that means here, first of all, I want to take that our user data. So I take one of the constant variable, and then here I take one of the user. So I want to save all that user data. That means our this method. Okay. So here I want to take this method. Perfect. And after that I want to do, if you print it, like I just print it with the console, okay, and the console and then the console log, and with this console log here if you print this user, then what exactly the data it should be display. I show you, like right now, if you click as a save all, okay, if you click as a save all, now go there, click as a refresh. Now you can see it's not displayed as undefined. That means from to the function we cannot fetch that data. So like that is, this data comes from our database. So here it should be displayed the name and then age, right? But it's not getting this data. So you just simply understand that is one of the database data. So it's not getting that data from to the function. So here we have to call some of the method, like as a callback, the callback hail, promises. So step by step I will show you everything with a live example. Okay, how can do that work, how can make it as a perfect. And here you can see after the 2 seconds our this message is printed, which is totally fine, but this data is not displayed, right? So how can deal with this, how can call all that functionality step by step. I will show you everything with the live example. I hope you get some of the idea about asynchronous programming. Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video, I have discussed about that asynchronous programming, and here also how can working with this, and also they have some of the issues like we cannot able to access our function all that value. You can see it's now display as undefined. So now I want to get this all the data. Better I will show you with another example. Okay, I want to show you with another example. Right now I close everything. Okay, I just simply create another function. Okay, I create another function and then I just name it as a fetch user. Fetch user. So that is our fetch user functions, and I want to load another method that I have done before, that is a set timeout. Okay, so into this set timeout that will be passed two of this parameter. One is the function, right? I hope you already remember. One is the function, and also another will be as a timeout. So I want to use the timeout as a 2000. So here I make it as a 2000. That means a 2 millisecond. Okay, that means a 2 second. Great. So I simply loaded that things in here, which is totally fine. And now I want to load one of the console log in here. So that is a function. Into the function area I loaded that console log, and into this console log I put on the string value, hi, my name is Aryan. Okay, here I simply loaded on the string value, which is totally fine. And after that I take another function. Okay, I take another constant. Better I take one of the another constant variable, and I just name it as a fetch user. Okay, fetch user. So I have take one function as a fetch user, and that is a fetch user. So into this fetch user area here I want to declare some of the property. Okay, that means the user property, like as the ID, user ID if you want to add. So that will be one of the ID. Okay, I better name it as a user ID. I name one of the ID, which is totally fine. And also I take another name I want to pass this property name as Aryan or Kazi. And also after that I want to take another one is email property, and then that will be another string as a kazi@gmail.com. So like for education purpose I'm actually using it. Okay, and then that is our ended one. Perfect. Okay, so now that is our another functions, right? Into this function area there is a ID as a user ID, and there is a name, and then there's the email. So I want to do here, I want to run one of the callback function. Okay, so like here that is our user ID. So this user ID, into this function area I want to pass another parameter as a user ID, and also I want to load that as a callback. Okay, callback function. Simply loaded this callback function here. So I want to return it. Okay, that means after that I want to return or this callback function first. So that will be a callback function. I simply loaded this callback function, and here I want to pass our which method. I want to pass out this one. Okay, that means this function I want to pass it. So here into the function area I pass that our user ID, and also I pass that our callback function. Okay, I simply pass it. So now if you want to visible it here, I want to better take this our fetch user. that is a fetch user, right? That is a fetch user function I have already created, and here I want to pass out the argument, like here our user ID, right? So I have already passed that user ID, and also I passed that as a callback. So now that is user ID. I want to do here, I want to pass one of the argument, that will be as a 1 2 3. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5. So that will be our user ID, and also after that there is another parameter as a callback. So into this callback area I want to pass another function. Okay, I pass another function, and I just here from I pass one of the user, one of the parameter. Okay friend, here I simply pass one of the user parameter. Now if you show this with the console log, okay, with the console log I want to display our this user. Okay, so now if you want to check it, like our this user is perfectly get or not, now click as a save all, and it will be also loaded after the 2 seconds, right? I click as a save all, now go there, click as a refresh. It's now clean after the 2 seconds. Yes, you can see it's now display as a hi, my name is Aryan, and also there is one of the error as a callback is not a function at into the 15. Okay, that means here it's actually getting some of the error in here, and that is one of the type error, right? That is uncatch as a type error. Here actually it's not getting out callback. You can see there is not set method here. I passed 2 of this parameter, right? So that should be obviously in here. Here I want to pass both of these. That is one of the user ID, and user ID value I have already passed it from here, and that is our callback function. Okay, now I want to add it in here. Now let's check this out. If you click as a save all, now go there, click as a refresh, and after that 2 seconds, yes, you can see it's perfect. After that 2 seconds, now it successfully display our these all data. That means user ID, you can see user ID pass it as a 1 2 3 4 5. That is our argument value, and that is our argument value, right? And also there is a name as a Kazi, email as a kazi@gmail.com, email as a kazi@gmail.com. Everything is great. Okay, if you click as a refresh, it will be wait for the 2 seconds, and after that 2 seconds, it will be get this data. I hope friend it's very much clear to you how can deal with this. That is one of the asynchronous programming features. Okay, so that is one of the callback functions. With this callback function, you can do this work. Okay, so in our next video I want to discuss about that callback help. How can working with this, I will show you that things with a live example. Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video, I have discussed about how can get that user all the data, and here we successfully display this data, right? So now friend, in this video, I want to do when I get that user all the data, I want to send one of the email to this user email address. Okay, so here if you want to pass this data, after that sending that email, it will be take some of the time, right? So that is one of the asynchronous. So here we have to do, like I show you, here if you want to do that work, first of all we have to create one of the method. Okay, that means we have to create one of the functions. I want to create another function. Okay, I want to create another function. I just name it as a send mail. Okay, send mail. So this type of one of the function, and into this function area here I want to pass one of the parameter as a user email. So that will be as a user email, one of the parameter. Okay, here I simply pass one of the parameter. After that I want to pass some of the status. That means when this email will be successfully sent after that minimum time, then it should be show some of the status as a success status. Okay, so for the reasons here I take one of the constant, and that is a constant variable. I take one of the constant variable, and then I take one of the variable name as a response, and then I want to load on the object. I just simply from here I take one of the property as a success, and from here I want to pass that on the true. Okay, that means true. It should be display on the true status. Okay, and then I want to return this response. That means return and then response. Okay, I will simply return this response. I hope you get some of the idea. I created one of the function, and here I pass one of the parameter as a user email, and then I take one of the response. I created one of the object, and this object result will be displayed as a success. Okay, success will be as a true. That means when this email will be sent, then that will be displayed as a true, and then I return this response. And when that will be sent, when I will get that user data, right? So here I have already displayed our user data. So now I want to do from to this position, into the console with this console log, and with this console log I want to pass out this method as a send mail that I have created as a send mail, right? And from to this position I want to pass that our user email. So that is a user email. I want to pass that user email from to this area. Okay, that is our email. That means this user related that I have already taken everything in here. So this user email I want to access. So here it will be pass it in particular that position. So now if you click as a save all, and now if you go click as a refresh, after the 2 seconds that will be loaded. Yes, you can see it's showing as a status as a true. That means email is sent, right? Now here I want to take, because when this email is sent to the user, it's actually take little time, right? It's actually take little time. For the reasons here I want to load our set timer that I have already discussed about that things with you. That is a set timer. So with this set timer here, it will be passed two of this parameter. One is the function parameter, right? And also another will be as a our timer. Our timer I make it as a 3 second. Okay, that means the 3000 millisecond. So that is a 3 second. Okay, so here I simply loaded. So now I want to do it will be pass it from here. That means that is the all that message, response message. I cut it, and then in our this position, okay, in our function here I want to do and to load it. So I simply loaded that things in particular that area, which is totally fine. And now if you click as a save all, and now go there, click as a refresh. So after the 2 seconds, now you can see it's now display as a undefined. Okay, it's also display that undefined. So here I want to do what exactly the things that will be happen. Better I want to check it with the console log. Into the console log area, I want to do and to pass another string value. Okay, here I want to do and to pass on the string value as a message sending. This type of one of the message that will be display. Okay, that will be display first. If you now click as a save all, now go there, click as a refresh. After the 2 seconds, there is undefined, and after the 3 seconds, now you can see it's now display as a message sending, because here I am actually using the 3 seconds. So that will be happening as a 2 second first, and then that is our 3 second, right? So now I want to do here actually it's display as a undefined, right? Here we have to pass that another parameter as with the callback that I have already done before. So for doing this, I want to do in our this sending message mail here, I want to pass another parameter as a callback. Okay, callback. So before I returned it with the response. So right now we don't need to pass any response. I want to load our callback here, and into this callback area here I want to do and to pass out this response. Okay, I want to pass this response in particular that position. And also here we don't need this. I want to do and to close it, and also I remove it. So that is our send mail. I want to do, and from here I want to load it. And from here we pass one of the user email, and also I pass that callback. So now I want to pass this function. So that will be as a function. I loaded that function, and into this function area I want to pass out this response. Okay, here I simply pass this response. And also if you now want to load this, that means here with the console log, with this console log I want to do and to display our this response message. So that will be the response, and into the response area I have already created on the property as a success. So now I want to do and to print this success. Okay, I simply print this success. So now if you click as a save all, now go there, click as a refresh. So for the 2 seconds, you can see 2 seconds we get that user data. Now it's sending that email. Yes, you can see there's a message is sending and status as a true. I hope friend it's very much clear to you. With this callback we can do that work very easily. So I hope you get some of the idea how to deal with the callback. But here they have some of the issues. If you use that callback, if you have that multiple functions, then always you have to go through that callback again. So we can actually prevent it very easy way. There is another option as a promises. Okay, how can working with these promises? In our next video I will show you that things with the live example. Hello friend, welcome back. In this video, I want to discuss about another callback alternative as a promises. Okay, here I want to do, in this video, I want to discuss about that promise. A promise. So how that promise actually work? Like first of all, I want to do, I simply remove everything. Okay, I remove everything from to this area, and here I want to add one of the set timeout. So into the set timeout, I have already discussed about that things with you. That will be one of the function, right? So with this function, after that particular time, you can actually display some of the message. Like here, I put that as a console log. Here I name it as a hi Aryan. Okay, hi Aryan. So this type of another message after the 2 seconds that will be displayed, right? So here we have to pass it like as a 3 seconds. So for the 3 second, that is a 3000 millisecond. That means the 3 second. Okay, so here after the 3 second that will be display our hi REN message. Now click as a save all. Now go there, click as a refresh. So after the 3 second, now you can see it's successfully display our this message, which is totally fine. So now I want to declare one of the promise. So if you want to declare it, that will be in the constructor. And here I take one of the promise. Okay, I promise, and I want to just declare one of the new promise. So that will be as a promise. Promise. So I simply load it, and here that will be one of the callback function. So there is a callback function, and this function actually pass two of this parameter. One is the resolve parameter, another is the reject parameter. Okay, so here as you can see that is also display as a resolve parameter, and also it's pass another parameter as a reject. So first of all, what to do and to name it as a resolve. Okay, resolve, and also another parameter as a reject. Okay, reject. So with these two of this parameter, how what exactly that will be do? Resolve, actually this function work for when you perfectly get some of the data from your database, then that is the resolve function will be executed. And if there have any error when it's getting that data, so if when it's getting that data, if there have any error, then our reject function will be executed. Okay, so first of all I want to do here, better I want to show you the live example. I take another set timeout. And here you can use it as a function array. So I use that as a function. Our function array I just simply declare. Okay, I will just simply declare it. And now I want to do display our one of the message. Okay, so whatever the message it should be get, that means if we get perfect correct data, then we can actually display it with the resolve function. So with this resolve area here I pass as a 1, then that will be returned as a 1. Okay, and also after which time it should be get this data, I just make it as a after 3 seconds or 2 seconds. Okay, after 2 seconds that will be get one of the data. So I simply added that our timeout in here. So that is our timeout. I simply load it. Okay friend, I hope you already know about it. So here I'm actually passing that with the resolve function, that is 1. That means if there have everything okay, if it's perfectly get this data, if everything okay, then that will be as a resolve. And then if there have any error, then we can display it with this reject function. Okay, then how we can actually display it? Then you have to display it with the reject. That is a reject, and into this reject area here I want to just simply create another error. So that is our error, and then your message like here hi there. Okay, there have some error. So this type of one of the error, then that will be display. So I hope you get some of the idea with this resolve. If you want to pass some of the success value, you can pass it. If there have any error, you can pass it with this reject, and that will be your error message. Okay, so that is our error object. So that is one of the default objects. So with this error object, you can actually display all that your error as per your demand. Okay, I hope you get some of the idea how that promises actually work. So now if you want to print this data, right now we don't need this, I simply remove it. Okay, I simply remove it, and here that is our last one. And after this I want to display our this variable, that means the console log. There is a console log, and here I want to display our promise. Okay, so that is a variable. I simply load it. So now what exactly it should be do after the 2 seconds, that should be display one of the message, right? Now if you click as a save all, now if you go click as a refresh, now you can see it's now display as a promises as a pending. Okay, so here right now it's actually hold this total data and it's display as a pending. So how can actually solve this issue? So first of all, I want to discuss about that our resolve. Okay, resolve here I want to do to right now close it, and that is a resolve. From here I pass one of the 1 value, right? So if you want to access this function, there have the 2 method as a then and catch method. Okay, so I show you like here I want to access it. So that will be as a I just name it as a promises and then method. Okay, so that is one of the method. So into this then method area here I want to declare one of the function. I simply declare on the function, and whatever the result it should be get, here I want to pass one of the parameter as a result. Okay, I pass one of the parameter as a result. Great. And now with this result we can actually print it. That means I want to show that console log. Into this console log area here I want to pass that result. Okay, sorry, result. So I simply pass this result. So now our is everything okay. If they have perfectly get this data, here I pass on the one value, right? So now if you want to access this resolve, then as I told you, there is a two method. One is the then method, another is the catch method. So now with this then method, here I pass on the function and I get this our total data. That means that is our result data, right? So here I pass one of the parameter as a result. I name it as a result, and now I simply loaded this result. Now if you click as a save all, and now if you go click as a refresh, now after that 2 seconds it should be displayed as a 1. You can see it's now successfully displayed as a 1. Okay friend, I hope it's very much clear to you. And now if you want to display that reject message, then you can also display it better. Here I want to make it as a reject function. Okay, into the reject function I want to declare one of the error message. So if you want to declare the error message, I have already discussed about, there is an error, and into this error, what type of error you want to display, you can display it like I just make it as a hi there. There I have some error. Okay, so this type of one of the message, now that will be displayed. So if you want to access this reject function, then you have to use it as a catch. Okay, for the resolve you have to use that as a then method, and for the reject you have to use that as a catch method. Now let's do that work. Here after this I want to declare another method. Okay, here I want to declare another method as a dot catch. So that is a catch method. So into this catch method, our functionality will be same. Into the function, whatever the result I will get, so I make it as an error. Okay, this type of the error message I pass on the parameter, and now I want to display it. That is a console, and then the console log area I want to pass that error. Okay, I simply pass it. So here that is our reject, and then here I pass on the string value. Now with this catch method that will be connected with our this reject function, now that should be displayed out this message. Now if you click as a save all, and now if you go click as a refresh after the 2 seconds, okay, you can see it's now display as an error, hi there have some error. Okay, I hope friend it's very much clear to you. And also here you can see it's display the total things, right? It's display the total error, and then that is a message. So if you want to only display the message, that means this message, then you can also display it. Then that will be the dot and then the message. Okay, message. That means that is our arrow object, one of the property as a message. Now I want to declare it. Now click as a save all. Now that should be display only that message. After the 2 seconds, yeah, you can see it's now successfully display only the message. I hope friend you get some of the idea about that promise. So it's very much interactive, one of the things, make that sure you understand it. Hello friend, welcome back. In this video I want to discuss about how can dealing with multiple promises. I show you with the live example, then that will be very interactive. I simply remove everything, and first of all I want to declare two of these promises. I hope you already know that is a constant variable. I take on name it as a promise 1. Okay, and then that I want to declare this promise. So that is a declare that new and then promise. I simply declare it, and here it will be passed two of this parameter, right? And here that is a function. To the function area I want to pass two of this parameter. One parameter will be as a resolve, and also another parameter function will be as a reject, right? And what exactly that resolve, what exactly that reject, I hope you already know about it. If you get perfect data, then you can display it with the resolve, or rather than if there have any error, we can deal it with this reject, right? So I simply take both of this, and here I declare one of the array function. Okay, that is one of the array function. And now I want to declare one of the set timeout, and into this timeout I want to declare one of the array function. Okay, that is our function, and into this function area here I want to do that is our array function, and now to run our resolve. Okay, resolve, and into this resolve area I want to pass one of the value as a 1. Okay, I simply pass one of the value as a 1, and this one value will be displayed. Our timeout will be as a 2000 millisecond. Okay, that means after the 2 seconds that should be displayed as a resolve 1, right? And also I take another one, I copy it and then I paste it. That will be as a promise 2. Okay, I just simply name it as a promise 2, and then that will be as a resolve again, and from here I want to pass as a 2 value. Okay, so that is our, it will be in our resolve I pass 1, and also in here I pass that as a 2. So now if you want to display both of these, then what exactly you have to do, then that is a promise, and then there is another method as a all method. Okay, so here we have to declare this all method, and into this all method area I take that both of this with the array. They have the two things. One is the promise 1, and also there is another one as a promise 2. Okay, promise 2. I simply take both of this in here. And then with this then, and into this then method, I want to pass one of our result, that means our response. Okay, I pass that as a response. And then into with this array function, I want to display it. I want to display our this console, and then the console log. Into this console log area, I want to display our which data. I want to display our this response data. Okay, here I have already get it. I get both of this response data in our this parameter as a response, and here I just simply print it. Okay, and if there have any error, then what exactly you have to do? We have to display it with the catch, right? So that is our then, and also that is another one as a catch. So now I want to also better use it. That will be the dot catch method, right? That is a catch method. So into this catch method, if there have any error, then that will be, I pass it as an error. Okay, I pass that name as error, and then our array function, I want to display this error with the console, and then the console log, and here I want to pass this error. Okay, I think at that point you already know about it. So now if you click as a save all, right now they have no error. Now that should be displayed 2 of this data. Click as a refresh. So after the 2 seconds here, you can see it's now display our first value as a 1, and then our another value as a 2, right? So with this array, you can see that it's now perfectly displayed as a 1 value, 2 value. So here I simply take as a 1. So it's now resolved. Here I pass 1 value, and here there is another one as a 2 value. So now if you want to display that error, here I have already loaded that catch method. So with this catch method, it should be work with which one? It should be work with reject, right? So that is our reject, and into this reject area, I want to display some of the message. So if you want to display it, then that will be the new and our error object. So that is our error object, and here what are the message you want to display? Like there have some issues. So this type of the message that will be displayed, right? Now if you click as a save all, now if you go click as a refresh, so first of all that will be display. You can see it's now display as if they have some issues, right? I hope friend you get some of the idea how to deal with multiple promises. Hello friend, welcome back. In this video, I want to discuss about one of the most important things as a fetch API. So that is a fetch web API. Okay. So in Ajax, through the fetch API, we can get all the data. We can also able to store this data. So first of all, I want to get this data. Here they have one of the API as a API, and then Git have one of the link for the user. So that is one of the ready-made API. Okay. And here that is all one of the user API. So I want to actually fetch all that user data. That means this user data, I want to fetch it, and I want to visible it in our web. Okay, that means here I want to visible it. So if you want to do that work, then we can do that work with using this fetch. That is one of the functions. So with this function, we can actually do that work very easily. I show you like that is I want to remove everything. So for get all the data from our API, that is one of the user API, I want to get it. So for get all the data, now I want to use it, one of the JavaScript building function as a fetch. Okay, so I better make it as a fetch web, that is fetch web API. Okay, so now I want to take one of the variable first, that is on the constructor. I then take one of the constant variable, and then into this constant variable I name it as a Git API. Okay, I just simply want to take it Git API, and now that is another building function. As I told you, there is a fetch. Okay, so you can see that is one of the building function, and into this function area here I want to load our API. That means that is our API. Okay, so that is one of the building API. I want to copy it, and now I just simply paste it. You can also get a lot of the fake API. If you search into the Google, you will get some of the API. Okay, so for education purpose, I'm actually using it. That is one of the API, and this API I want to access. So now if you want to print it, like here I want to with this console log, I want to print our this Git. Okay, Git API. And then what exactly this data will be displayed. If you now click as a save all, and now if you go and your browser, click as a refresh, now you can see it's now pass one of the promises. Okay, it's now pass one of the promises, and also is as a pending. So when you get any promises, as I told you before, then we can able to access our two of this method as a then and then catch, right? So I want to use it here. So with this git API here, I want to use that as a then method, and into this then method area, whatever the response that I will get, but I want to make it as a functional array. So that is our I get that response. This response data, okay, this response data I want to do and to print. So if you want to print it, that will be as a console log. Into the console log area here, I want to do and to pass our this res. Okay, so here I simply pass it. I hope friend you already know about this part. And also if you want to declare the catch as well, you can also declare it. That will be as a catch, right? That is a catch method. I simply loaded this catch method, but I want to make it into the another line. That is a catch method. Okay, and into this catch method I want to do and to pass another error. That means if there have any error, that will be display this error. That is our functional array. And here with this console log, I want to display this error. Okay, I hope you already know about it. And now if you click as a save all, click as a save all, go there, click as a refresh. Okay, better I want to make it into the here. Now you can see it's now passed some of the data. Here that is our body used as a false, header, color, type, URL. So that is one of the response data, and into this response data that is one of the body. Okay, into this body if you open it, now you can see it's one of the readable stream data. So here now we have to access our this readable stream all the data. So if you want to access it, then we have to work in here. So now I want to get this data. I want to get all that our user details data, right? So if you want to get it, then they have another building method as a JSON. So that is one of the JSON data. I want to call our this JSON. So right now better I remove it. Okay, remove it, and then I want to call this response. That is our response, and then JSON. Okay, that is our JSON method. So I simply call it. Okay friend, and after that here right now there is one of the promises data, so we can use another then. So I make it as another then method, and into this then method area here I want to pass one of the parameter as a profile. That means the user profile, whatever you choose. Right now I make it as a profile. And then with our array function here I want to display our this profile. That is a console log, and into this console log area here I want to pass that profile. Okay, I simply pass this profile. And now if you run it, so that is one of the JSON data. So with this JSON we'll get all we are able to access all that our this user API data. Okay, so it's now getting this data. That is all. I have already taken another then, and I just take one of the parameter as a profile. So right now all the data into this profile. So now I want to display this profile data. So with this console log I display this profile. Now if you click as a save all, and now if you go click as a refresh, so you can see it's now successfully now get all that user data. Okay, that is in our API. Whatever the data is in here, if you now go to our API, that means that is our API. You can see that is all that our API details data. So now this data is accessible in here. Okay, you can see everything is in here. I hope friend you get some of the idea how to work with the fetch function. So with this fetch function we are able to get all the data with this JSON method, and then here I simply load it. Okay, just simply understand how that functionality works. Later we will go more deep. Just simply understand that fetch method. Okay, so that is the fundamental series. In the fundamental series you have to just remember what exactly the then, the fetch. Just simply remember it. Later we will build the project, then everything will be more clear. Okay, hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video, I have discussed about that fetch API, and here first of all when you run it, then it's actually pass one of the promise, right? And for the reasons here, when you get that as a promise, then you can able to access that then and catch, right? So now I want to apply the same things with using another functionality, that is the async await. Then we don't need to use that then or the catch, but that means here that same functionality. Okay, that means user data is simply get it with the JSON, right? With the JSON we get that all the data. So right now I want to do the same things with using another format. Right now better I want to do here I want to make it as a comment out. Okay, and now here I want to do, first of all I want to declare one of the function, that is a function, and here I name it as a get info from git. Okay, get info from git, and here I simply declare one of the function. And when you use that asynchronous, then first of all here we have to add that asynchron. Okay, that means the S and C. like asynchronous, and here we have to first of all call it, and then that will be our function, and I just put that function name as a get info from git. Okay, info, I just name it as a get info from git. Great. So in particular that position, first of all we have to call the same things. We have to get that, or we have to fetch all that our API. So I simply paste it. Okay, that is our constant variable as a git API, and into this git API I just simply fetch all the data. Okay, I simply fetch all the data. Great. And now I want to display it. So if you want to display it, then that will be, I just take another variable with the constant variable. I just name it as a profile. Okay, I name it as a profile. So with this profile, first of all here we have to get that before I get this data with this then, and then our JSON method, right? So now also we have to run this JSON. So I simply copy it and here I paste, so that with this that will be actually fetch all that our user data. Okay, and now when you're using that asynchronous, then here only we have to use that as a await. Okay, await. So here we have to use it as a await function. So now with this await function, then that is our JSON method. It will be get all that data, which everything is right now in our this variable as a profile variable. Now I want to display this profile. That means that with this console, sorry, that is a console, with this console. So now with this console log, into this console log, I want to print our this profile. Right, I want to print this profile. Here you can see I didn't use any then cache. So that is one format we can use it, rather than you can also use it. Okay, and now that is one of the function, right? We have to display this function. So if you want to display it, then we have to call this, that is a get, that is our get info from git, right? So here I simply call our this function name. Now if you click as a save all, now if you go click as a refresh, now it's showing as a uncaught in promise. References is not defined. References, here you can see that will be obviously this name, so better I make it as a references. Okay, so that will be as a references. Now if you click as a save all, and now if you go click as a refresh, again there is a JSON, there is a res JSON is not a function. Res JSON is not a function. You can see here also you have to do into the fetch, into this fetch area here also you have to pass that await. Okay, so that is our await, one of the function, and then that is our fetch. Okay, so here also you have to add that as a await, and also here we have to add that as a await. Great. Now let's check this out. Click as a save all. Now go there, click as a refresh. Yes, you can see it's now successfully now get all that user data. Okay, user followers, user details, everything. You can see that is the logging details, location, this user, all that object is now successfully get it, and now is visible it in here. I hope friend you get some of the idea how can work with these promises. Also another one as a asynchronous, here you can actually do that same things with using that asynchronous. Here only you have to do to add that asynchronous and then function, and then before that fetch, here you have to call this function as a await, and also when you get that data with this JSON format, then here also you have to add that as a await. Okay, so that is a simple work with using that asynchronous, and then that is our promises. Great. I hope friend it's very much clear to you. In our next video, I want to start a new session. It's about the DOM. DOM means the document object model. So step by step, I will try to share everything with you.